This is a question from one of the Pakistani female. She's very well known in community. So she asked me this question: how can we balance between integrating into Western society while preserving our Islamic values?
So this is a very, it's a very common question that we get, and it's a logical question. You're a Muslim, you're living in the West. How do you make it work? The question is actually, it's easier to answer than most people think.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we get confused because we're thinking of too many elements at once. If you were to step back and simplify it and say, look, this is my Islam, this is my religion. This religion has some beliefs, worships, it has some ethics and morals, and it has some, you can say, social guidelines, family guidelines. It informs how I earn and how I spend, and so on and so forth. These are the areas that are impacted by my deen. I'm taking this deen into a setting that's not necessarily designed for that deen, but it accommodates the deen. Constitutionally, I have the right to practice my religion, all aspects of my religion. Legally, no one can force me to give up any of my religious practices. So it's accommodating, it's giving you the space, but it's not designed to help you practice your religion. So the balance is that we have to take some responsibility for ourselves in making sure that our identity isn't compromised. Some people think that integration means like melting or dissolving like salt in water. That's not integration. Integration means that you are able to bring your identity into whatever setting, whatever culture, society that you are going in, and you are now in sync with it. Neither is that society disrupting your practices, nor are you doing anything that's hurting that society. This is what integration means. So you have to prioritize your own religious values. You have to prioritize your own religious identity. The countries like Canada thrive because people have been able to preserve who and what they were before they came. Otherwise, if everyone becomes the same, that's not the purpose, the objective, and that's not what makes these countries a pleasant place to live. So let me come back to the same thing. Let's just identify what your religion has given you. How much of it are you upholding yourself as a person, as an individual? This is what society has to offer. How much of that can you access and benefit from without compromising this? And everyone will figure out a formula based on what they're doing for a living, whether they're a student or they're earning or they're running a household, whether they have children or not, whether they have family here or not. All of those factors will play a role in helping them figure out what does balance look like for them. But I'll be very honest, most people become overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So they start out with an imbalance. And the first couple of years of coming here are very imbalanced. In other words, Islam doesn't come to the forefront of their lives. It's kind of on the back burner. And as a result, that's what establishes their behavioral patterns. That's what ends up becoming their norms, their routines, their habits. And then to break out of that becomes very difficult. So most of our work here is about bringing things to balance and correcting the existing imbalances that we have introduced into our lives.